Hi folks, John McNichol here, and today we're going to be talking about a subject I know so many of you are going to just love discussing. Yes, we're going to be talking about poetry. Wow, what do you mean? Why all the funny looks? Why all the upset? Okay, let's talk first about what poetry is and maybe what it isn't. And then we'll talk about how we're going to define it here today. Okay, so for starters, okay, what is poetry? Let's get some ideas here. Okay, what is poetry? Yes, okay, we can say poetry is self-expression. Okay, good. What else is poetry? What else is poetry? What does poetry have? Yeah, okay, some folks like to say that poetry tends to rhyme. Does poetry have to rhyme, though? No, it does not. In fact, there's far too much poetry that never actually ends up being seen or created because people think it has to rhyme or I don't write it. We're going to learn about that today. Now, for poetry, you got to define your terms before you're ever going to talk about anything. So the first thing we're going to have to do is you say what definition we are going to use today about poetry. And the definition we'll use today is this. Poetry is a non-standard form of communication. Okay? If I'm going to tell one of my kids they have to do the dishes, am I going to tell them in a series of rhyming couplets, or am I going to say, Jimmy, do the dishes? Right, I'm going to use the second one. That is called prose. Prose essentially is a standard form of communication. Poetry is a non-standard form of communication. What are some forms that poems take? Yeah, there's rhyming. Yes, there's a sonnet, which rhymes and has a structure. And there's, heard someone else say it, free verse. Okay, so what I'm going to teach all of you today is a very simple but effective way to write your own poem, okay? Using something everybody has access to, and those are your senses. Okay? So, really quick, I'm going to erase this part, and then we can look at some of those senses, rather. Now, what are some of the senses that you and I have? Okay, what's one? Yep, okay, good. We can see. So, that's not quite dark enough for what I want to do here. Okay. I see. Okay, what else? I hear. That's right. You and I can hear. Good. Next thing, okay. Yep, okay, let's get the other ones down. I feel. I taste, and I can, what's the last one? Smell, right. Okay, so basically what we're going to do, let me just go to some of my notes here for a second. What we are going to do is this, okay? Now if you look at a different screen over here, you can see that is a picture of a donut shop that when I was a little boy, back in the late 70s, when I was about 5, 6, 7 years old, my father would take me to that donut shop every Saturday afternoon after cartoons. Okay? And so let me just adjust this a little bit, okay? And I would, to be honest, even to this day, when I go back to visit Toronto, which is my hometown, I have to. It's just, I don't know, it's like salmon spawning. I've got to go back to that donut shop. It's still there, believe it or not, okay? So, here's the easy way, here's one of the ways that we can do what we're trying to do here, okay? I'm just jotting down a bunch of, these are what are called sensory words. Why? Because they take their names from the 5 senses, okay? So, what I want you folks to do is think of this, okay? Think back to what you know of the 1970s. Think back to what you know about something like a donut shop, okay? Now I'm going to ask everybody to think about that for a second and what things little 6 or 7-year-old me would see, smell, hear, etc. What's probably the first thing I'm going to see when I come up to that donut shop? Yes, a big donut sign. Okay, so I will put that there. A big donut sign. And you'll notice I spelled donut a little differently because that's how I remember it being spelled on that sign. Okay. What else? Yes, glass walls. They had glass walls so you could see the people enjoying the product. And doors. Good. What else am I probably going to see? Yeah, there's people sitting inside, sheltered from winter. Because it's winter a lot in Toronto, we used to joke about. Okay? People sitting inside. You guys got some good ones here. Sheltered from winter. Sorry for the poor handwriting. We'll work with what we've got. What am I going to hear? Okay, what am I going to hear? Yes, the doors used to have bells. So I hear a bell rings on the door. What else am I going to hear? What else am I going to hear? Yeah, right, you got it. There's a jukebox. There were jukeboxes around a lot. Okay. Hey, who remembers one of the hits from the 70s? Yes, that's the one that was playing everywhere when I was a little kid. Playing Jim Croce. Okay? The song was Bad, Bad Leroy Brown that you heard everywhere. Okay, good. Okay, so you got a jukebox playing Bad, Bad Leroy Brown. What else? What am I going to smell? I'm going to smell frying donuts. Yes, okay, deep fryers. I'm going to smell frying donuts everywhere. And that smelled so good to a little kid like me. What else am I going to smell? What else do they have cooking in a donut? Yeah, coffee. Coffee. How does coffee smell? Does it smell sweet? Oh, someone said coffee. Acrid. Okay? Coffee. Acrid. Okay? Also, does anybody know how they would often keep those places warm? Yes. There's a space heater. Okay? You could smell that space heater. Stuff kind of burning. Okay? A space heater in the corner. Okay? What else am I going to see? Anybody know why I put more I sees and I smells here? Okay? Right. Because 90% of our information comes in through here. And smell is actually the most powerful of all memory triggers. Okay? So I would see a counter. I'll try printing here and make sure that people can see this better. I would see a counter. Yeah, what else? Yeah, oh, what kind of donut did I get? I love what they called a rainbow shot donut. It basically was a cake donut with white icing and rainbow colored sprinkles on it. Okay? Delicious. Still remember it really well. I'd see a rainbow shot donut, okay? And an orange drink. That's what I'd always have. Got to the point where I could just say the usual. Oh, I wanted to say that so much as a kid, and I was able to do that. It was grand, okay? So, what would I taste? Yeah, fuzzy orange pop. Fizzy orange pop. That sounds a bit more like it. It's not really fuzzy. But fizzy orange pop, depending on where you are in the country, okay? Pop, soda, sweet drink, Coke, whatever, okay? I would taste fizzy orange pop, okay? Icing on the donut, sugary. How does that make me feel? Icing, sugary, okay? What else do you think I would be smelling at the time? What else? This is the 1970s. So how is this place going to be different than, say, the way it is today in the 2020s? Okay? Right. I would smell cigarettes. Oh my gosh, he's going to die. Well, no, I didn't. But I smelled cigarettes. What do cigarettes smell like to a little kid? Oh, I like that metaphor. Cigarettes. And someone actually did say this. Okay? Cigarettes smelling like adulthood. Because except for a couple of kids who liked to pretend they smoked regularly, cigarettes were something that only adults would do. Okay? And how would I feel? Well, what kind? Just sensory. What do I feel? Yeah, I feel warm. What about emotionally? Okay? Yeah, I'll feel happy. Why do I feel happy? Because I'm at a place I go to every week. It's a place where I feel I belong. So I belong there. Okay? This is where I belong. Okay. So, yeah. Very good job, folks. Very good job. All right. So going back here, let's take one more look because we're almost done. Hey, you know what? Let's do this. Ta-da! You folks, congratulations, have just written your first poem. Could someone read this? Okay. What do we want to call this? Okay, Donut Shop. Oh, what street was it on? The Donut Shop on Danforth in Toronto. Okay. Donut Shop on Danforth. Okay. A big donut sign, glass walls and doors, people sitting inside, sheltered from winter. Okay. Frying donuts, coffee, acrid, a space heater in the corner, a counter, a rainbow shot donut, an orange drink, fizzy orange pop, icing, sugary, cigarettes smelling like adulthood, warm, happy, like I belong. Okay, congratulations everybody. You just wrote your first poem and it only took you about 5 minutes. And it sounds pretty cool. So what you are going to do now is this. You are going to take a place I don't know, but that is important to you. I've been trying to get across to you a place that was important to me in my childhood. Now you're going to show me a place that was important to you when you were younger. Okay? So take a place, get at least 5 sensory details, okay? And give me a poem that has at least 5 lines of sensory details about your place. And then upload it to the proper spot on Google Classroom. Okay? Great. Go to it. I'm looking forward to reading these.